Streaming. And let's make sure the channel's going live. It is. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on So Many Levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yay!
Yeah.
Empty.
I am Christiana Ellis, the Dungeon Master. Our players tonight, Chooch Schubert as Sequential.
Hello, hello.
Starla Hutchton as Carolina Swift.
Hello, friends.
Mark Kilfoyle as Nedry Shiny Rock.
I only have one question. It is 24 parts.
Later. And last but not least, Paul Fisher as Zinhorn Windborn.
Good evening.
Alas, we are short one player tonight. Viv, as Trina of Harley, is not able to join us this evening. We miss her, but we will soldier on. So, who would like to talk about what happened last time?
How
We
brief
did a lot
do
of
you want
talking.
this? There was breakfast and more breakfast and a lot more breakfast after that. And then there was going down to where the place was all busted out. And then there was meeting some boy. I have his name in my notes somewhere. Oh, and then there was a really strange color and a shop. Done.
And a dead body.
Well, that's in my notes.
2. You keep forgetting about the 1. The one we're carrying. Always
Oh.
forgetting that one.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm constantly forgetting the dead body that's strapped to my back.
Well, technically, it's a skeleton in robes, so it's a little bit less, it's a little more compact. Doesn't
I
call
think at this
attention
point
to
he's
itself quite so
inventory.
much.
It's a
Yeah.
mobile reliquary, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, you kind of got it wrapped up in the robe, so it's not really, like full size. It's kind of compacted.
I'm not
There's no-
holding it up and articulating the arms.
Well, if you are, you haven't been describing it, and I think that's really unfair to the rest of us.
I'm not. No, that would be desecration of, and Zinhorn would definitely not do such a thing as desecrate a dead body.
So, indeed, you met with your new patron, Yobert Relenth, who has offered you a job as Pocket Dimension Explorers. And you discussed a little bit some of your, what sort of gear you feel like you might need for that. And then you also discussed some plans to do some research into the mystery of this, the identity of this person that you're carrying around and what their whole deal was. You also had planned to return to the Cunning Oaf Tavern, which exploded with junk after your last little adventure there, to help out the tavern keeper there with clearing out some junk. But that's when you met Tuga, the turtle boy, who fled from a. So it was originally someone who was trying to steal the junk that he had rightfully salvaged from all this junk, but then a weird color splotch leapt off a shield and attacked the other guy. When you found him, he was dead, stripped of all color. And then you chased a strange blue splotch that burned its way through a wall and into a china shop run by a minotaur, Hunjar's Wholesale Flatware and Porcelain. Wholesale porcelain and flatware sellers. And as you made your way into that shop, convinced the Minotaur owner that he should step outside for his own safety, you're now prepared to try to engage a blue thing. So I think as you're preparing to enter combat, you kind of look around and realize, wait, wasn't Trina with us? You don't see her. Where'd she go? Uh-oh. Oh, well. This is happening now. So,
Must have smelled something interesting.
yeah, could be. So let's see some initiative rolls.
$14.
What is my initiative? Oh, +2. 17.
17 for sequential. Nedry? Or?
Oh.
Or
Okay.
yes, either of you. Nedry?
17.
17.
12.
Okay. So which sequential Nedry? Which of you has higher dexterity?
Mine's 14.
Mine's also 14.
Ah, well,
Alphabetical?
no. We just roll. Each of you roll a d20. Another d20.
Ooh, 19.
4.
All right. So sequential goes first between you. Okay. So, with combat at hand, let's do this thing. So, you're looking around this warehouse type wholesaler consignment shop. This is not the sort of place where, someone goes to buy one plate. This is the sort of place where a restaurant goes to buy 200 plates. So there are lots of big aisles with stacked crates on racks, but there is also a display area up front where there's a lot of tables set out, and plates and, entire dinner arrangements all set out. No food. But the place is generally well lit, but the racks of crates are tall enough and plentiful enough that even though this big kind of small warehouse sized shop, you can't see all of it at once. So you are still all near the entrance. You can't currently see the color. So, sequential, what do you do?
Well, clearly need to establish a search grid. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to pick a random direction and run in it.
Okay. All right.
Basically, I guess, yeah. I guess try to see where the hole in the wall is and
Okay. Well, so here's the question.
that way.
I think if you're trying to go to the place where the hole in the wall was, that's not necessarily random, but you can make
gotcha.
for me an intelligence check to try to run as close
Yeah,
as you
figure
can
out
to
where it would
right
have
where that would have been.
entered to try to figure out where it might currently be. 11 roll, intelligence +3, 14.
Yeah, this is not a terribly difficult thing. You were just there, and you just came right around from the front door. So you are able to run over to one corner where you do see a little patch of light coming in from the new hole in the wall. Make a perception check.
Yeah. It's only 6.
You do not see the color. So I think
Found the ingress.
so. That the perception check is your action this turn. But anything else?
No.
Okay. Next is Nedry.
Ingress. My working title is IDC. Master always says, though, safety first. And I cast Mage Armor. Wave my my feather in the air, cast Mage Armor. I've got to calculate the other part of it here in a second. And then we came in through the front door. He'll turn to the right because I think the alleyway would be off in that direction. So he'll go as far as he can towards that wall, and then sort of go further deep in to see if he can find the hole, essentially.
It's funny that you said to the right, just because I arbitrarily was imagining it off to the left. Not that I gave you any sort of a clue that would tell you one way or the other. So it's just kind of.
Oh, okay. I guess I thought we were coming in from the back of the building, and then we went around to the front of the building.
You were, but it's a question of, like, once you come in the front, like, which corner is it, right? So, but in any case, you're trying to go in the direction of. You also have Sequential, who had just gone there and said, "Here's the hole." So if you're trying to go towards the hole, you don't have to guess.
Okay.
All right.
And as I go, I will draw my dagger, I guess.
Okay. All right, Carolina.
I think I'm going to start from where I am and see if I can spot this thing.
Okay. Make a perception check.
It wasn't great. It was a 7.
Yeah, you don't see it yet, but you can still move if you like.
Yeah, but I think, no, I'm not gonna split off, so I'm gonna kind of follow behind Nedry, and if I spot something or something happens, like snatch him backwards.
All
He's
right.
little.
Just checking how many hit points you all have. It's not very many because you guys are just
He's squishy.
Yep.
We are
little baby level 2s.
You would notice that there is a sort of slightly distorted frame around Nedry at this point. It's almost invisible, but you if you were specifically going after him, you'd probably notice.
All right. So that would be next is Zinhorn.
I will move forward and start looking around to see if I can see it.
All right.
Perception check,
Yep.
I assume. That would be a 24, natural 20.
Very good. Believe it or not, that you actually needed a 23 because it rolled really high on its stealth. But you spot that, you're looking around. Everyone else is mostly looking around kind of at eye level or lower. But you happen to let your gaze travel upward, and you see that up on one of the highest crates on the top of the rack nearby that hole, you see around one side of it that one, an area about, like, it's a roughly circular, about 10 inches across. There's a portion of that crate that has become that same vibrant turquoise blue.
Okay. I am.
So it was your action to look around and check, but you can certainly point at it and go, ah!
There.
Yeah, and if you have any, like, bonus actions or anything, you can do those.
Where would I see bonus actions? Your actions. Bonus actions. No, I do not have any applicable bonus actions.
Okay.
And it just occurred to me that Sacred Flame is probably not something I want to use in here, because burning down someone else's shop would be a bad thing.
Well, so on that note, it's certainly that is a question that you guys are going to all have to grapple with, I think, in this combat. But I think Sacred Flame specifically would do damage, but not set things aflame. Like,
It's not actually fire.
It would burn things, but not leave fire behind.
Okay.
Whereas some spells, like Firebolt, for example, specifically do set things on fire.
Yeah. Sacred Flame
It
is
is
actually
flame
radiant
light.
damage.
Yeah.
Flame-like radiance. Okay, so I can use it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's an action for next time, right?
Next time. Next round, yes.
All right. So, it is actually the color's turn, but right now it is not doing anything. It is just staying where it is, up on that crate, which is about, I'd say, about 10 feet in the air. Like on a steel rack, with two more rows of crates below it. But that's how high the one it's on is. So Sequential, you're up.
Okay. The only thing I can really think to do is to lob some frost at it because I definitely, would prefer containment, but I don't have anything that fills that bill. So, if he pointed it out, I don't know if I can see it or if it's still a percepting thing.
No, yeah.
I-
Once Zinhorn pointed it out, you see it.
Cool. So, yeah, I will cast Frostbite,
All right.
and it is a saving throw situation. Cause a numbing frost to form
Uh-huh.
on the creature within 60 feet.
Okay.
Con versus 13.
Con is not its best thing. It did roll a
It is
natural
an
20,
all or
though.
nothing.
It rolled a natural 20.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
And then it takes no damage, no
Yeah.
effect.
yeah,
It gets cold, but resists.
Yeah, so I think what you end up seeing is like frost collecting on the side of the crate, but it doesn't seem to affect the color splotch at all.
What does it look like when sequential does that? Because everything you do is gadget based,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's true, right? Frostbite is actually it's like an eye beam. It collects. It's like this focused kind of hazy energy that results in frost at the other end.
Very nice. All right. So that was sequential. Are you doing anything else? That's it.
No.
All right. Nedry, you're up.
Well, he's probably momentarily dazzled by the blue light coming out of Sequential's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But what are the shelves? What's on the shelves?
So the back here is where everything is like still like boxed up in bulk. So there's crates that are on the floor that are about like 3 foot cubed approximately, and then there's a medium shelf where there's another one, and that this thing is on the third level, which is the top.
Okay. Are any of the crates open? Can I see what's in them, or?
No, but they do have labels that say Valen Floral Flatware.
Maybe later. I'm going to sheathe my dagger and try to climb up the side of the shelf.
All right, so I think probably athletics would be the standard check for that, unless you want to try to argue for something else.
No, that's basically how he's going to try to do it.
Okay.
He's kind of looking at it with fascination, going, I wonder what it actually is. I wonder how big it is. Do you think it can be held in a vase? Let's see. That is, that's better than I thought it would be. That was a 17.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that the you are able to climb up to it without too much problem.
Probably has to adjust to put the book, kind of slide the strap around so it's more on his back rather than his hip as usual.
Yeah.
The feather pen has disappeared into its little hidey hole. And looking, so I'm closer to it.
Yeah.
Can I try to study it?
Sure. Make an Arcana check.
Okay. 24.
That's pretty good. You have never seen anything quite like this before. But certainly now that you're looking at it carefully and kind of trying to get a sense of the magic about it, and that you had briefly seen it with the detect magic up previously. I think it's probably down by now. But I think you can sense that although what you see as an undistinguishable, like it's a solid splotch of that one color, right? It's not a more complicated pattern or anything like that, but you can sense that around the edges where it seems to have completely turned the wood of this crate into that color, you can see around the edges it seems to waver a little bit, like it's honestly, what it resembles the most that you've ever seen is when you've seen things that were being made partly ethereal. And so you get the sense that this thing might have not have much physicality of its own. And so basically to hurt it, you're going to literally have to hit the thing it's in.
Okay. He'll probably, there'll be a running chatter, you can imagine, as he's kind of making some observations along the way. I'm still going to stick with the term IDC, but I'm not really sure if it's intelligent or not. It doesn't seem to be entirely here, which means it's probably extraplanar of some kind. I don't know if that means it comes from the pocket plane, or maybe was created by the pocket plane's existence, or maybe because of the destruction of the and just kind of goes on and on for that for a while.
Yeah, I think the last thing that occurs to you is not something that you observe, but rather something that you have not yet been able to determine, which is how did it do that to that guy out there? What does it do?
I have theories.
Yeah. All right. So that's Nedry. He is up there directly next to this crate. Carolina, what are you doing?
Being worried about Nedry getting close to this thing, so I am kind of nervously, like, I'm gonna look at him and sing a little song. Hey there, ho there, watch your step, be ye peasant or lord, for none can stand against the swing of the mighty paladin sword. And you now have bardic inspiration. Also, with level 2, I got magical inspiration. So if a creature has a bardic inspiration die from you and casts a spell that restores hit points or deals damage, you can roll that die and choose a target affected by the spell and add the number rolled as a bonus to the hit points regained or the damage dealt.
Cool. What die is it?
1d6.
Cool.
All right. So, I think it's a bonus action to give inspiration. Yeah. Am I wrong?
Oh yeah, it is a bonus action. Okay. Oh, not a whole lot else I can do. I guess I would. Let's see. I'm trying. Where is everybody else?
I
Would
think everyone else
Sequential be
is
off to my right. the
approximately. We're doing theater of their mind here, so I think everyone's
Yeah.
kind of just standing around at the base of these crates, other than Nedry.
Okay. I'm going to use Mage Hand to poke at it again and see if it does anything.
Okay. So you poke at it, and we'll see what it does on its turn. But it reacts very similarly to when you poked at it before, in the sense that it sort of like squishes in a little bit more than you would expect from like the wood of the crate. And the whole thing seems to ripple around the edges a little bit. All right. Zinhorn.
I am going to cast Sacred Flame at it.
All right. That's a dexterity saving throw.
Yep, dex of 12.
Gosh, I'm just thinking about this. Yeah, no, I think it doesn't change. So, because of the way this thing hides in physical objects, I was trying to decide if that affects its dexterity saving throw, but I think no. It got a 17.
Then it was not affected.
All right. So I think what happens is you send out this radiant flame, and it does scorch the side of the crate just a little bit, but you basically see the color sort of just slide along the side of the crate and just avoid the scorched part.
Okay.
And I think, especially Nedry, with you just right there looking at it, even though it really does seem like it is actually changing the color of the wood rather than just being like applied on the outside, it nonetheless moved along inside the surface like it was almost like swimming along in there, and it leaves normal wood behind where it was.
Normal wood or normal blackened wood?
Well, it's blackened where the sacred flame hit it, but not where it was.
Oh, interesting.
All right. that is Zinhorn's turn. It is the color's turn, and now, Nedry, as you're right there staring at it, you sort of feel, as you're looking directly at it, somehow you just find that the color is expanding to fill your entire field of vision, and it rolls a 10 to hit, which probably doesn't hit even you.
No.
Especially not with mage armor on, right? And so what you realize at the last second is you sort of blink your eyes and jerk away, and you realize that it had extended like a little weird pseudopod tendril out towards you, but you were able to jerk away and it missed.
Cool.
And- all right. Sequential, your turn.
Well, that's different. Yes, if I can. Yeah.
I'm just imagining
Think
how
of-
different this would already be going if Trina was here.
Right. Trying to be like somewhat respectful about our surroundings, but we're not getting anywhere.
Already forgotten.
So, he's going to pick up the crossbow and put in one of his little special bolts, little wrapped wire on it, and launch it at it.
All right.
Ding, which is actually going to be a chaos bolt spell.
Ah.
So a +5, a 19 to hit.
19 does hit.
Yay! So what? It's chaos. What is it? Okay, it's I've got to roll a 1d8. This is happens to be cold damage.
All right.
Which is 9 points of cold.
Okay. So what happens is...
Oh wait, I'm sorry. 2d8 plus 1d6, so it's an extra 4. Ooh. 13 points.
Oh. So yeah, so what this is the flavored as the crossbow bolt, right? That
Yeah.
sort of explodes into cold damage. And I think what you see is you strike where the splotch is, and you can see the cold bolt like penetrate the wood, and then the cold expands outward, and you can see it sort of splintering and shattering the wood locally as the cold, breaks through and disintegrates part of the wood there, and you did manage to get it right where the color was, and it seems to ripple and vibrate as a result. Like it, just around the edges, it seems to shiver.
So it appears to have some effect.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. That is Sequential's turn. Nedry.
Looking at where this is in relation to the hole in the wall, can I see that now from where I'm up there? Where
Yeah.
the hole is?
Yeah. I mean, it's
Is there any distance between the shelf and the wall?
I mean, so yeah, because the hole was not directly like at this rack. Like it floated
Okay.
up away from the wall. You saw it float around as a little mote of light. It does not need to stay in a surface.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'd forgotten. Okay. Let's see. That changes things a bit then. This crate is closed as well.
Yeah. I mean, it has an opening now, though, where it's been sort of frostbitten and like parts of the wood have sort of splintered and shattered outward.
Is there a label on it?
It's the same.
Oh, okay. Flatware. And flatware. Am I interpreting that correctly? It's like knives and forks. Is that flatware?
Well, okay, I guess so. That I was thinking it was more like dishes, but I guess maybe I'm using the word wrong.
Just want to make sure that I'm imagining the right part there.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
So I am prepared to. Yeah, okay. Flatware is like it's forks and knives and spoons and stuff.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I was thinking plates, but I did say flatware, so it's only fair. This
Okay.
this store does sell both
yeah.
plates and bowls and platters and stuff like that as well. But that seems to
but
be.
everything is closed up otherwise around me, so I don't see any lying around. Okay.
I mean, there was some up towards the front of the store, but not right here.
Yeah, that's way over there. Let's see. Well, I might as well try it. And he'll pull out his dagger and see if he can stab it.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
This is probably not going to be very effective. Nope, that's a 7.
Okay, yeah, a 7. I think you find that the point just kind of slides along the surface of the crate and doesn't really seem to do much but scratch the wood.
This is tricky. I'm going to try to continue to climb up so I'm standing on the top shelf, make it a little easier for myself.
Okay. Well, I kind of was envisioning you were like kneeling on the top shelf next to the crate.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's it.
Okay. So, Carolina, you're up again.
Yeah, like the only attack spell that I have would do major damage to everything in here. So we're not going to do that.
That sounds fun.
Well, it does, but
Global thermonuclear explosion. Cast at first level.
let's see. I wonder if... Yeah, I really would like to contain it, but I don't have any kind of nets or anything. So I'm actually wondering, like, if this would be considered an attack, like with Mage Hand, see if I can scrape at all at the wood to like get the thing off of it, see if it works.
I think
But don't know if
based
that's
on
considered an
poking it
attack.
with the mage hand before, you don't think the mage hand is going to be able to do anything damaging
Okay.
to it.
I don't have a lot here. Let's see. So if this is a china shop, is there anything metal like laying around, like a loose fork or something?
I mean, you know where there are some forks and stuff. There's not one
yeah,
just
I
like
think-
laying on the floor.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking, because it was on the shield before and didn't notice any damage on that like it did to the wall. Although maybe it can control that, but I was thinking maybe throw something metal at it to see if it does anything. Like if it...
Daggers are made of metal.
Yeah. Actually, I think I might have one. Let me check. I do have a dagger. So I will throw my dagger and hope I don't hit
Okay.
that tree.
Go ahead and make your attack.
Where is that? Okay. I don't see. Oh, there we go. That's why. Okay. Plus 5. 19.
19 hits.
6 points.
All right. So the dagger, I think, because you're hitting where it was already, the wood was kind of already damaged by the cold. I think the dagger sort of just like goes through it into the interior of the crate, and so you can kind of hear it like get stuck in the like the padding material inside the crate. But the color does seem to like tremble again, and then you start to see smoke around the edges.
Of
Hey, I think
the
that worked.
Color or the dagger?
The color.
The color. Yeah.
Be working.
So that is Zinhorn's turn.
I'm going to try Sacred Flame again.
All right. Makes another dexterity saving throw. Natural 1 that time.
Yes! 5 points of damage.
All right. Yeah. So this time it seems like it was a little distracted, if a paint splotch can be distracted, by the other attacks, and so it didn't slide away from your radiant flame this time, and you get it right there, and you can see the wood begin to char and bubble sort of underneath it, and it doesn't seem to like that at all. And in fact, what you then see it do next is, like it ate through the wall, it begins to eat its way into the crate. And you see flames suddenly, like the packing material inside the crate starts to flame out through the opening left behind, but you don't see the color splotch anymore for a while. And then all of a sudden you see the moat emerge from the back, like from behind the crate, and float away a little bit. And then you hear the rack start to groan. You realize it ate through part of the rack material on its way out. So, in case it's unclear, it ate its way all the way through the crate, came out the other side, and took out part of the rack on the way. So
Is
it looks
the crate now on fire on the inside?
yes. So that movement in that action is what the color did this turn. So it is now currently free floating as a little speck in the air, but it does seem like it is moving towards other crates. So I think the packing material inside is probably like straw, right? You know, it's sort of, that sort of stuff that just used to keep things from jostling against each other and all. But it's also now on fire.
Sequential, can you get that crate out of here? Outside?
Certainly.
So it is your turn now, Sequential.
Yeah, so guess he'll try to grab the crate. Great. Guess I'd try to just jump up and pull it off, I guess.
I think you're tall enough that you could reach up and sort of get your hands on the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also probably like it's a 3-foot cube crate. It's not. It's
Right.
It's not light.
He's gonna just try to pull it.
Okay. Go ahead and make a strength check for me.
Ooh, 18.
Okay. You do.
Strong.
I would like you and Zinhorn and Nedry and Carolina to make dexterity saving throws as you pull the crate off of the rack, and the rack begins to collapse.
What?
I got a natural 20, so that's 25.
Evaded easily.
I'm sorry.
Carolina.
+2, so that's a 3.
I got a 13.
All right. I think 13 is you're fine as well. Nedry, you were on top of the rack, so we don't hear you.
Just realized I was muted. I get a 16.
16. I think you managed to sort of ride the collapsing rack down and land just sitting nicely on top of one of the crates that is now on the floor, because several other crates have sort of collapsed to the ground with a big sort of clattering thump. The rack has groaned over, but Sequential, I am afraid that as you have pulled this crate directly onto your own head, you're going to take 4 bludgeoning damage.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, and because it has 2 big holes in it, it's also kind of knocked apart a little bit. Like, it's not as sturdy, so it's the sides are coming apart from one another, and so now smoke is emerging from some of these other cracks. All right, Nedry.
Although he would have been somewhat distracted by the moving world, his head has mostly been focusing on this thing. And I'm like, I wonder if... oh, there's a plate. I'm just going to assume one of the crates with plates actually broke open.
Yep, sure.
Test number 4. And I'll walk over, grab one of the plates, and wing the plate at it.
Okay. That's probably like it would be an improvised weapon, so that would be like dexterity, not proficiency.
Yep. Oh, that would have been nice if it was a natural 20, but it rolled over just the last moment. So that is a 10 to hit.
I think, unfortunately, the plate sails wide and smashes against the wall, shattering into pieces on the floor.
Testing is hard.
Carolina.
Oof.
Oh, wait,
Oh, yeah.
don't forget you have the inspiration. You could have...
Yeah.
I didn't roll that well to
Okay.
think that inspiration was going to do much for me.
All right.
Yeah, well, I'm keeping my eye on where this moat is.
It seems like it's heading towards, like, some other racks.
Is there any, like, not a crate, but some kind of, like, jar type thing with a lid, like an actual, like, pot or storage container of some kind, like, for actual food that might serve, like, to catch it or something?
Sure.
I'm just imagining, like, a jar with a lid and you could just, like, close it.
Well,
but-
I think, like, a mason jar to catch a firefly is, like, the classic
Yeah.
thing, right? There is definitely a mason jar that just it's within reach even. It's close enough you can go grab it and then get back over to where you need to be, because that's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that.
Okay. So I think that this is also probably dexterity to try to catch this thing in the jar. And it's not going to be proficiency, so like a dexterity check, essentially.
So let's see. So that's just like the modifier I add, or rather than a saving
yeah,
throw? Or
yeah. Well, so how about this? I will let you, because this is kind of like a grapple check, except you're trying to catch it in the jar. So I'm thinking like it's just dexterity instead of strength. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's resisting with its dexterity,
Okay,
because
so
it doesn't
have
want to
a
go in the jar. Actually,
+3 on Dex, so that's a 16.
it rolled low, so it has it got a 12. So I think you managed to, you have it in the jar at the moment.
Oh, you jumped ahead to test 12, but it worked.
Yeah, but it could bust through at any moment. Like, we've seen what this can do to other materials, so I don't know if I have any movement left.
Yeah, probably not a lot, but
Well, I would start heading towards the door to get it out of here.
yeah, I don't think you can make it very far that way.
Yeah.
So you kind of ran to the front where they had the display and ran back, so that was most of your movement. All right, so Zinhorn, Carolina's
I'm
got
gonna
it in a
grab
jar.
box of fire and try and drag it toward the front door or
Okay.
the nearest door to get it out before
Yeah.
the whole shop is engulfed in flames.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Fire in a city is a bad thing.
So go ahead and make an athletics check to drag this crate along.
I just imagine we go and visit every shop on this street, and one by
dirty
one they
20.
all get destroyed.
A dirty 20, that's pretty good. I think you get it almost to the door. Like, not out of the building yet, but like most of the way over to the door. It's definitely trailing sort of smoke behind it, but you would manage to pull it on it, pieces of it. The crate, it seems like the actual wood of the crate is not really burning yet. It's still just the stuff inside so far. But yeah, it has not gone out.
And I would know how to call for a fire brigade.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, because
You go out and yell fire.
Well,
fire,
yeah,
help.
that's also the sort of thing that, like, in a real emergency, what you do is you find a standard, bystander, and you point to them and say, you go do this thing. And so Hunjar, standing nervously outside the front door of his shop, might be an excellent candidate for such an order.
yep.
All right. So it is the color's turn. Carolina, as you're holding it in this jar, you see it sort of like flit around like a butterfly a little bit, and then it sort of starts to merge with the jar, and you see that a big portion of the jar, like all down one side, around almost all of the circumference in the bottom of the glass, has now become translucent like stained glass.
Not holding it from there.
Like, like holding it
Yeah.
out with like, it's going to make an attack on you,
Ah.
and it got a 25 to hit. It rolled really well.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Pseudopod.
that is going to be 11 psychic damage.
Ooh.
2 left.
And I would like you to make a Constitution check to hold on to the jar.
Not my greatest. That is a 9.
A 9. I think you drop it and the jar shatters. Which
So close.
you immediately see, though, that if it was a normal jar with some stained glass on it, you would have lots of pieces of the blue glass, but instead, all of a sudden it's back to being the moat and the shards of glass are just clear again. But it seems to quiver a little bit, like it actually took some damage from that.
Not a total loss.
Yeah, not a lot of damage, but, you damaged the thing it was in. That damages it. All right. That makes it, that was the color's turn. So, Sequential, you're up.
Let's see. It hurt her. It smashed the ground. He'll pick the crossbow back up and fire a traditional crossbow bolt at it.
Okay.
Is that 19 to hit? Oh, no. 19 plus 4, 23 to hit.
That's pretty good. So, although this thing is not very big, it also is not moving very quickly. And with your keen aim, you are able to strike it with your crossbow bolt.
Wing, 5 points.
Nice. So you see, all of a sudden, what happens is the crossbow bolt seems to go right through where it was, and it's just gone. But then you see that the crossbow bolt skidding across the floor and then bouncing into the corner by the wall is now the bright blue color.
Oh. So it caught a lift.
Yeah.
It phoned in an Uber.
Sticky.
All right. Nedry, your turn.
How far over did it go? Are we talking 20, 30 feet, 40 feet?
Well, I think we can sort of just imagine for a moment, like, what is it that you would want to do?
I just hope it's 20 feet away from Carolina. Sorry.
Sure.
Okay. Test number 14. And I cast Sleep centered on it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your damage die.
Okay. Actually,
And so
here's
the
what it
idea
was.
is that Carolina would be out of its range, out of the
Out of the
spell's
range, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
Because
that would be
otherwise, I
embarrassing.
guarantee that she would have fewer hit points left than this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll have to re-roll these a couple of times. So 14 points.
Unfortunately, the thing seems to be unfazed.
Get about your inspiration die again.
I don't know if it would apply to this because it's not
I,
damage.
I would allow it, but I'll tell you right now, it wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah.
But I think in the future I might allow it for that purpose, because it's kind of similar to adding for damage. Okay, so Carolina, your turn.
So, just as a note, that inspiration die, the magical inspiration is an additional feature to the regular bardic inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be used as an attack roll bonus.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
let's see. Okay, so first off, I'm going to cast Healing Word as a bonus action on myself.
Seems fair. Yeah.
That's 8. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings me up to 10 hit points. And yeah. I did not like that. So, but I have lost my dagger. It is in the burning box.
Yeah.
So, I'm just going to grab something nearby that is small and throwable.
Okay.
Should
Tell me what you would like it to be.
Let's see. Well,
Here's
in other
a.
words, flatware boxes, and like right there.
Well, I think you had
Nope.
gone over and got the mason jar too, so I think that there's a wide variety of display items potentially available.
Yeah. I am going to, I guess, throw a plate because that seems like there's probably a lot of them here.
Yeah.
Just kind of whip it like so it's like vertical that way instead of
You've got to
like,
account for
frisbee style.
breeze.
Yeah.
Because she just, yeah.
All right.
So that
Go ahead and.
What do I
I mean, I
add
think
to-
that again, it's like you're not proficient with improvised weapons, so it would be dexterity without proficiency.
well, then that's a dirty 20.
That's still good enough. Yeah, so you see this bright turquoise crossbow bolt laying against the floor near the wall, and you just huck that plate right at it and just smashes all right dead over it. So let's call that. I think that let's call that 1d4 plus your dex.
8 points then.
Did you roll the d4?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I have high. Yeah, it was
Alright.
a 3 plus. I have the +3 on dex. It's at 6. Did
Yeah.
I say 6? What did I
You
say?
said 8.
6.
6. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, so you see that, you've shattered the plate, and the crossbow bolt kind of skitters along with some of the shards of the plate. You nailed it. I think the crossbow bolt is still this color, but it's obviously like banged up and kind of crooked.
So it's a little less vibrant.
No, the color is actually just as like the color is the same, like the actual
poor
colors. Yeah. So the that was Carolina's turn. Zinhorn, you,
Carolina, do you still need healing?
I'm down 3 now.
Okay,
My max is 13, so I'm
You're okay.
okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to continue to get this box out
Yeah.
of the
So you get it the rest of the way out, and you do see Hunjar going like, "Oh my God, what's going on in there?"
It's attacking us, and we're attacking it. Fire in the box. Put out the fire.
Ah! He runs away. He may be going to get something to put out the fire. It's unclear.
I drag the box like into the street where it's not going to immediately start burning something else down.
Yeah.
And then
No problem. You can do that and then get back inside with your movement.
okay. But I will not have enough action left to do another Sacred Flame, will I?
You know what? I'll allow it. Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna try. Dex of
All right.
12 saving.
Right. Oh, it rolled low, so it only got an 11.
Woohoo! 1 point of damage. Oh no, excuse me, 7.
Oh.
I'm glad it tells me what it says. 'Cause I couldn't actually perceive that as a 7, but it is a 7. It put a big 7 on the screen.
All right. I think what you see is that your radiant flame essentially disintegrates the crossbow bolt, and once again, this thing is the free-floating mote of light.
Okay. Does it appear to be different at all for all the damage that we've done?
Hard to say. It doesn't seem to enjoy that when you're doing it, but it's a mote of light. It doesn't really like have a progress bar on it.
Okay.
Okay, so it is actually its turn now, and I think that it floats over to the one of the tables where it's all set out for like a fancy dinner, so all the plates and wine glasses and fancy forks and tablecloth and everything, and you see it sort of slide onto the tablecloth and then swim along like it's inside the tablecloth until there's a big bright blue splotch that kind of slides under where the centerpiece in this table is. Sequential, you're up.
So is it still visible? Would that be considered like a cover situation?
Yeah, it's like
hiding?
this centerpiece, which someone described this centerpiece.
It's a ceramic bowl with fake flowers coming out of it. Simple, couple of different colors, and kind of like a spray of more delicate fake flowers coming out of it for accent
Nice.
that have been painted silver.
Very nice. So it seems to be under that. So
Well-
it doesn't look like it would provide a lot of protection, but you don't see it. You saw it go underneath there and stop.
Yeah. I don't. Let's see what that work. Why not? Use fairy fire.
Okay.
Let's see. So in this case, he's actually he's going to Sequential will reach for the boomerang and toss the boomerang towards the table. As it goes swish, swish, swish over the table, it kind of has this jet. These little jets fire out this mist, causing a 20-foot cube
Yeah.
of everything green. Green's kind of glow, a greenish
Okay.
glow. And the creature in the area would do a dexterity saving throw versus 13.
It rolled a natural 1. Again, that's the second time. But that means it fails.
So for the duration, it sheds a dim light. Well, everything is shedding dim light, but any attack rolls will have advantage against it.
Very nice. I think, actually, that when that happens, you see all of a sudden, like, it emerges from under this centerpiece, and you can see that around the edge of this splotch is now bright green, and it's moving in a very sort of abrupt, frenetic way that it hadn't before, and it seems to be like darting everywhere, like along the table. It doesn't seem, it seems alarmed, or perhaps, by that.
Tree, any theories?
Many.
Well, it's your turn, so.
One that might help us kill it?
I don't know if it's really alive, so describing it as being killed is kind of a little bit weird. Maybe more dissipating from the particular plane we happen to be on. And he's walking over to the table, drawing out his dagger as he's talking. I wish I were stronger, because I saw this trick they pulled in the circus once. I don't think that can happen here. And he's going to go, it's still on the tablecloth, essentially.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's going to stab downward with the dagger onto the table as hard as he can.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll. That's actually not what I thought you were going to do. I thought you were going to do the tablecloth trick.
No, I was thinking, I wanted sequential to do it. He can barely reach the table and he's not strong enough to do it. So, but I didn't want to throw
the
that idea out
flowers
there.
are still standing. No, you're stabbing into it.
No,
All right.
I wanted everything to smash.
Yeah.
That is a 23 to hit,
That'll hit, yeah.
and I cast Booming Blade as
Ooh,
well. So when the
okay.
dagger strikes down, there's a sort of boom that happens in the area, and the entire area around the table seems to sort of shimmer with energy.
So I think what actually happens here is your dagger just thunk right into the, like, it penetrates the tablecloth right into the wood of this table, sticks there, and you see as the magic of this booming blade starts to vibrate out, and then all of a sudden you see that the table is going, and all of the dishes are starting to, like, rattle in place. A couple of the glasses tip over, and it's,
I'll try to pull my dagger out and just step back a couple of feet to observe.
yeah. Carolina.
Mark actually stole my idea. I was gonna do the tablecloth thing, but now everything.
can do
Well,
it.
he didn't. No,
Well,
he
everything's
didn't
all
do it
knocked over.
though.
It wouldn't make any sense.
Well, no, but like he didn't do that though. I said that I thought he was going to, and then he didn't. He just stabbed it.
That's exactly what I was gonna do, but.
Oh.
Let's see. Well, I mean, it worked well before, so I'm gonna throw another plate at it.
Okay.
Oh, I did actually hit it, didn't I?
Yeah.
Should I roll my damage?
Oh, yeah.
How novel.
Good point. Yeah.
And I will use the inspiration because it sounded like I'll try to tune the boom to the song that I heard. That's not
the
so much help. That's 6 points.
All right. Okay. So, Carolina.
And you said plus dex, right? So that's only any 11 to hit.
An 11, I think, doesn't hit. So what you do is you take out the centerpiece with the plate. Just
Oops.
they both shatter now. Spins out across the floor into little broken bits and artificial flowers. All right, the Zinhorn, your turn.
All right, so none of our.
Oh, did you roll
angels
with
got-
advantage, Carolina?
Oh no, I did
Yeah,
not.
do that. With,
Oh, yeah.
Since it's got the
Glowy,
color.
glowy.
That's a 14.
Still no, sorry.
Yeah.
So Zinhorn.
So nobody else needs healing right now. No. All right. Good. I will walk. Actually, I will continue to try not to destroy the shop and use Sacred Flame,
Yeah.
as opposed to my mace.
All right.
So it dex of 12.
So Sacred Flame.
Sacred Flame.
Yeah. For some reason, yeah, okay, I misunderstood what you were saying. All right. That time that's a 12?
12 is what it needs to be.
Yeah, okay, so I think it evades that, but,
Does it need to hold on?
Meat speeds.
Yeah, meet
Target
it to
must
beat it.
succeed on a dexterity throw.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so it succeeded at 12.
Yep.
All right.
Just barely. But I think as it's its turn now, it's moving to do that. But the vibrating from the booming blade. What? So remind me what how that works when the target moves.
If it moves 5 feet or more, then the boom explodes.
Yes, it does. So to describe how much is that? Yeah.
So yeah, the sort of suddenly shatters, pushing out energy, probably pretty much finishing off what was left on the table.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully.
Oh yeah.
And it takes 6 thunder damage.
Very nice. Yeah, so it does, but the entire table essentially goes with it. It's just like the table sort of cracks in the center, the pieces going down, but a lot of the dishes would just go flying everywhere. So I need a dexterity saving throw from everybody as shards of porcelain and glass and cutlery go flying towards each.
That was highly effective. Wow.
Yeah,
Oh.
17.
success.
21.
Success.
I'm observing it very closely. I got a 4.
4. I think that's gonna be just 2 piercing damage for you.
Okay,
Does it
the little
work?
shards kind of stop before actually hitting him. Just gonna sail down.
Nice. Zinhorn?
I'm sorry. My boss was texting me.
Okay.
What do I need to do?
Dexterity saving throw to avoid bits of broken dishes.
All right, let's see if I get lucky. 13.
13 is not enough, and you are going to take just 1 piercing damage. As you get just the little cut on your cheek from a flying fork.
I have a fork sticking out of my face.
Yeah. Just thunk. And I just suddenly thought of the Pirates of the Caribbean, where the pirate with the wooden eye gets the fork stuck in it. Anyway. That was the color moving on its turn. But what it also does is it rushes towards Sequential, coming out of the table, and it's rushing straight at you, Sequential, and it's going to make an attack on you. It gets a 17.
Ouch.
That hits.
Okay. And it's going to do... That's relatively low damage. Good for you. 9 psychic damage.
That's relatively low.
But so you, I think, as you take that hit, you just suddenly like find your visual process completely overwhelmed with that color for a moment, and I would imagine it's not super pleasant, but it's still sort of hovering as the moat. But you can see now that the color does seem like it's still tinged with the green on it. Remind me with Fairy Fire, can it ever like get rid of it? Does it get to repeat a saving throw?
No. Oh, actually, I have to do a concentration saving throw. It's a concentration spell. So I get an 18.
Okay, so you maintain concentration, but it can't, like, once it's on, it's just on.
Yeah, it
just
doesn't
can't-
say it gets to take another.
Huh. All right.
It's a deck save, so I guess it's just missing the splash.
Yeah.
It only
So-
lasts for a minute. That's the other side of it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, but like advantage on all attack rolls
Yeah.
against it for a minute's pretty
Right.
good. But yeah, so it seems though like it's still slightly colored by that light, and it's moving kind of erratically compared to before, where it sort of like drifted along. All right, Sequential, it is your turn.
I beam right back at it. Frostbite.
All right.
So concentration
Okay. Or Constitution.
or Constitution saving
Yeah.
throw versus 13.
Yeah. It got a 15.
All right. Fizzle out.
All right. That makes it Nedry, your turn.
Okay. probably. Well, actually, I don't have to step up. I didn't fall over. The thing didn't hit me directly. All right. Okay. All right. So that sort of worked. Might want to step back this time, and I'm going to go over with the dagger and just sort of doop, stab. Oh, is it too high for me to hit?
No, I think you can just get it, but it is above your head.
Okay. It's glowing pretty green, though, which is terrible. I think that's a 9.
9 won't
Yeah,
do it.
it's a 9 to hit.
So you have advantage.
Yeah,
You
that was
have
with advantage.
Oh,
That was a 1 and a
Yikes.
5 on the dice.
Wah, wah.
Rats. Okay, that makes it Carolina, your turn.
Okay. So it's a moat again.
Yep.
Okay. Are there any more jars?
Uh,
Or is it just the one? This is a
I-
display.
okay. They're in a pyramid display. And you got one that was sitting by itself before. But if you want another one, you're going to need to make a dexterity check in order to get one out without crashing them all down.
Okay. Although I don't really know what good that does because it just broke out of the jar anyway. But I mean, that does seem like fun. Sure.
All right.
It attacked me last time too, and it did not feel good.
Hmm.
No, I'm gonna go after it with my rapier.
Okay.
So. Let's see. And have advantage, right?
Yep.
Good, because that was a 2. That wasn't too much better. That is 10. No, yeah, 10 total.
Okay. 10 is not enough, unfortunately.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a little
So-
tiny moat,
Yep.
swing and a miss.
Zinhorn.
Those two made physical attacks. Is there room for me to get in there with a mace without? Because it's right in front of sequential.
Yeah. I think so. Everyone's kind of like gathering around it, but you're not quite like if you imagine if we were on a map, you'd still all be in your own 5-foot control square, right?
All right, I'm gonna swing my mace at it,
Okay.
and I may need to take a moment to
Okay.
finish something for my boss here. That is a 16.
16 will hit.
Okay, and that is 7 points of damage.
All right. All right. Yeah, you just sort of boom with the mace. And I think once again though that it seems to have just disappeared, but then you look and it's on the head of your mace now. The head of your mace is discolored by this thing.
Okay, that means I can get it out of the shop.
So, but I think that's actually, I think you could get to the door of the shop with your remaining
Okay.
movement. Is that what you're doing?
Yes, that is what I'm doing.
All right. So it is the color's turn now, though, and it is going to reach out from its spot on your mace. You see the color swimming along your mace up to where your hand is on the handle, and it's going to attack you. And it gets a 21 to hit.
Ow.
Probably does hit, huh?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's going to do 13 psychic damage to you.
Ooh. Ow.
Yeah. It's like
That hurt a lot.
yeah, your vision just swims with this turquoise color for a moment and just pounding headache. Your nose starts to bleed a little bit, I think.
I have 1 hit point.
Woo. All right. So that is
Healing word is a bonus action, just saying.
well, but that was the color's
Oh, it was the
turn.
color's turn.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yep.
So sequential, it is your turn now.
It's on his mace now.
Yeah. And he's looking a little wobbly as he approaches the door of the shop.
I really can't think of anything else to do other than just keep trying to kill it with frost.
Right?
So another frostbite.
It's actually
Constitution
not.
13 saving throw.
Yeah, it's not great at Constitution. It's just rolled high a couple of
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Not that time though. That time it just got a 3.
D6. 4 points of cold damage and disadvantage on the next attack.
Ooh, okay, that's good. All right, so the head of your mace is covered with frost now, Zinhorn. All right, that is Nedry's turn now.
Nedry will turn to Carolina, kind of sigh heavily. Master always says that repeating the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is kind of a madness. And he kind of runs out at the front door, points at the mace because he can kind of see the color, and speaks in his mind.
Okay.
I'm going to use the message cantrip.
Okay, so you're trying to talk to the.
Yep.
Okay.
Still working on the eye part.
Yeah. Let me look up that spell real quick just to see.
Sure. It's pretty sparse in terms of specifics, but.
Okay. Yeah. I think that there's just like what do you say?
So he'd whisper under his breath, I don't think we really have to fight, you know. We just don't really understand. Maybe we can talk.
You find that for a moment, all you can sort of think about is that color, like you're imagining it.
I think it's working.
But then, like, that's all that happens.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so that is Carolina's turn now.
Well, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cast Healing Word on the cleric. And let's see. It is 8 points. Back to you,
Dang,
Zinhorn. And,
much relieved.
not
Now I'm only
a whole
6.
lot else. Because it's on the mace. I don't want to hit him with anything. I'm not too great with these plates. Okay.
Well, he's got it up in the threshold of like the exit of the store, so you could theoretically say throw the mace and then I'll hold my action until then or something like that. You could.
Yeah. Yeah. Throw the mace, get it outside, and then a pick of a plate and ready it to throw.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're gonna throw at the mace once he drops it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. That would be Carolina's turn. Zinhorn, you're up.
All right, so I'm looking out in front of me. Is hopefully there's no pedestrians. There's a burning box in front of me.
So there's no one in your immediate vicinity, but you also see Carolina just over your shoulder, ready to throw a plate. So you probably don't want to throw it too far to where she can't do that. But
No. What is the state of the burning box?
I think it's increasingly on fire. Like the crate itself does seem to be burning now.
I think it's maybe time to buy a new mace. I'm going to toss the mace into the fire.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So I think let's go ahead and do that. Go ahead and make a dexterity check without proficiency, but it's not high to get it. This is
Okay,
just
because my dex is an 8, so I'm at -1. I have
Yeah.
lots of strength.
Sure. So it's not a high target that you're trying to hit, but the idea here is that your mace lands in the fire and doesn't just bounce away.
11.
I think, yeah, that's a success. So, yeah, you toss it into the fire and it's just like plonks onto the burning wood, and you don't know what effect that has on the color, but you can't imagine it likes it. Doesn't seem to enjoy much of the things that you've done to it so far.
Okay. And I am going to do bonus action healing word on myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that will give me 5 points back, which will bring me almost back to full.
All right, you're hucking another plate there, Carolina.
Yep.
All right.
15.
All right, yeah, I think that the you managed to throw the plate at the mace that's sitting in the burning crate in the middle of the street, and then I think, you know, as you land there and there's a moment of like, ha, and you kind of look up and you see, you know, just past the crate, you do see Hunjar kind of returning from some direction with some people behind him, and he's just looking at you a little bit horrified.
Sorry.
All right, Zinhorn.
Did you want
Oh
the
no,
damage
Zinhorn,
for
you
that?
just had your turn. Yes, please.
Yes.
Damage.
It's you said it was a 1d4
Yes.
before, right?
Mhm.
So that's 3.
Okay. All right. So Zinhorn, you just had your turn. That was your held action. So it is actually the color's turn now. It floats as a moat up out of the crate and starts floating off down the street. And it gets about, let's see, actually, I think what it does is it floats off and then down to the street level, though, and it merges into the street and then zips along down the street about 25 feet. And so it's now in the pavement of the street. So that is its turn. Sequential.
I would like to shoot a traditional crossbow bolt.
All right.
Added it. Wing.
All right. Well, so what's your what's the standard range of your crossbow?
80 feet.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I've got movement too, so
Yeah.
you know,
No, that's
need
that's
to.
fine. I just couldn't remember whether
13, 17 to hit.
that. Okay. 17 does actually. Hang on. Yeah,
No.
17 does hit.
Uh,
Its AC changes depending on what it's in, so it's why I sometimes have to check.
Did the fire
10.
from the box affect the color moat?
I mean, it seems like it looks as it did before, in the sense the color is the same. Now it's on the street. It still has that slightly green tinged around the edges. Okay, so how much was the damage?
10 points.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Max damage.
Yeah. All right, Nedry.
Nedry takes off running after it, and kind of you can hear him yelling as he's going, "This thing is awesome!" It's he probably has to run to even catch up to it, so he'll run and kind of keep a cautious distance, but kind of observe as he's going which way it's going, and kind of looking around to try to figure out if it's going somewhere in particular.
Okay. So if you want to dash, you can get right up to where it is, but otherwise, you're maybe like 20 feet back.
He will dash, but I won't go directly close to it. I want to be
Okay.
probably 10, 15 feet away from it.
Okay, sure.
Just kind of paralleling it.
Sure, running alongside to follow it.
Mhm.
Okay, Carolina.
Let's see. I feel bad, like, even taking... Oh, I can just grab, like, random junk that's on the street because there's so much of it everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna grab anything, like some random piece of metal, and I'm gonna go after the color and
Okay.
throw another thing at it.
All right.
That's actually a 21.
There you go. That'll hit.
Another 3 points.
Okay. All right. So, Zinhorn.
I'm going to try retrieving my mace. Well, can I get it without burning myself?
Well, let's see. I think you can make a dexterity check to try to pull it out of the fire without burning yourself.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to try one dexterity check.
All right.
12.
I think that you get to make another dexterity check because you pulled it out of the fire, but then it was so hot that you dropped it, and so now we're seeing if it lands on your foot.
10.
I think it lands on your foot for, six damage. I rolled a d6 and it was a 6.
Oh.
Yeah. Just crunk. Ah!
All right.
It landed just like right with one of the corners. It's the worst.
Yeah. I hate to do it, but I'm going to burn another healing word with a bonus action.
Okay.
So cast and heal, and I get 3 points back.
All right. The color is its turn. It is swimming along in the pavement, and then it goes down a storm drain. Sequential, it's your turn.
I run to that storm drain. Is it like a grate kind of situation, or is it just a hole?
So the storm drain there has there is a metal grate, but it looks really heavy. So you think it would probably be very difficult to just pull that grate up. But I think you might be aware that there are like manholes here and there. So like there might be one of those not too far away.
Oh, I would look for one. Hot pursuit.
All right, so make a
like-
perception check.
Okay. Perception. Oh, it's only a 4. I don't know what my bonus is, but it doesn't matter. 7.
All right. Yeah, so I think that you are looking around someone with tremendous strength might be able to just pull that grate up out of the ground, but you think that might not be you, and you do not see any other means of accessing the sewers just now. All right, Nedry.
Let's see.
Nedry,
Probably
I
peering-
think that you think that part of the storm sewer does have a bigger opening. You think you could probably just squeeze through it,
Oh, really?
but only you. No one else would be able to follow you that way.
Oh, he's through.
Yeah. All right.
Of course he is.
All right. So yeah, I think you drop down in there, and this thing stands out dramatically because it's dark down there, but it still glows with both its own bright turquoise blue and also the green tinge around it.
I kind of imagine that there's a moment as he kind of dives on through and he's like caught up a moment and then shifts the book so it's not making his profile larger and then kind of shimmies on through.
Yep. All right. So you can still have an action if you want.
How far away is it?
Well, you tell me what you want to do.
Well, if I have enough movement, I'm going to try to go after it again.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's like, what an appropriate sort of battle cry. For knowledge! And it charges forward. Test number 5 and 6 and 7.
All right.
Oh,
Odd numbering.
that is a 22 to hit.
Nice. Okay.
And I will once again cast Booming Blade.
All right.
Only 3 points of damage though as a base.
Okay. But you can see once again, it's it's sort of the wall seems to be vibrating a little bit as it's in that spot. Do you yell out or anything? Because everyone else just saw you disappear into the.
Well, he did kind
Yeah,
of
we
yell
heard.
out.
Yeah.
He tests test
Yeah.
number 5, 6, and 7.
For knowledge.
For knowledge.
For knowledge.
Echoing up and down. Yeah. All right, Carolina, your turn.
Well, I can't go down after him.
I think
Uh,
if you get down on your hands and knees, you can probably see him through the grate.
Yeah. There's nothing really I can do on top of that, though. Because I don't think I could see the thing. We'd have to go down there to see it. So instead, so the shop owner has come back, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna put Nedry aside for a second because there's I got nothing. I will go over to the shop owner and said, they're sending out assessors, so you could just include this in the damage, right?
Make a persuasion check.
Can do that. And that is a 14.
Okay. He looks not entirely convinced. He still looks a little bit horrified at what's happening. And it's also confusion because it's not clear to him that what's happening is done happening.
And who are you, anyways?
Yeah.
But you saw the thing, right? You did.
He did see the thing.
Yeah.
He saw
It's very dangerous.
a blue
There's a
thing
whole thing.
fly out from and zoom along the road into the sewer. All right. So Zinhorn, your turn.
I am going to leave the mace where it is.
I think because I made you drop it on your foot, you can pick it up without damage now, unless you
Okay.
want to take it.
Then I'll
Or one of
retrieve it and run to my friends because I'm hoping I'm strong enough to actually get that grating open.
Sure, let's try.
I have a strength of 16.
Okay, well, so athletics is what we would be looking for.
Okay.
If I were to dedicate my next action, could I assist in giving it an advantage?
Yeah. So, if what we can decide is that sequential is helping, and so you can we'll wait until his turn for you to
Okay.
roll the second one.
Okay.
But essentially, the other way we can sort of spin that is you tried and failed, but you're sort of still working on it, and so it counts as you assisting.
Yeah. I'll reach over and help.
Yeah. All right, so it's fine. On Sequential's turn, you can roll again with advantage. Or rather, roll again, because that's the advantage from your first roll. All right. The Color's turn, it does try to move, Nedry, so, it seems to
from-
not understand what's happening, so how much more
Definitely
damage?
got to lose the eye. 3 points of thunder damage.
All right. Yeah. So it is still tinged with the green, but it moves. You see a little crack appear in the wall of the sewer there, but it does zip down along the ground, and it's going to attack you.
No.
Yep. That's a 13 to hit.
That's a miss.
All right. Yeah, you were able to hop out of the way. All right, Sequential's turn. He's helping with the grate, so let's get another roll from Zinhorn.
Athletics 17.
All right, yeah, you do it. You get the grate up out of the so there. That was your action for both of you, but it is now open big enough that you guys could
Cool.
fit inside.
Well,
Yeah,
Carolina.
if it's just movement, I'll drop in, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you drop in. So Sequential can
Just-
jump down
Yeah.
there and just
try to
beat
get
down.
bearings.
Yeah. Okay, Nedry, it is your turn again.
Okay. On the other hand, Master does say that when you find a proven technique, you continue with that technique until other evidence exists otherwise, and you try to stab it again.
Okay.
That's a 9, so that makes it a 13 to hit.
I think you sort of stab out with your dagger, but you're not able to really like get it.
It's probably all the explanation. He didn't need that to actually hit.
You found that after you finished your sentence, it wasn't in the same spot that you were about to stab, and you're like, oh, right. Talk first,
Must
then
take a note
stab.
not to distract myself.
Yeah. Okay. So are you going to try to move away from it, or?
Yeah, he probably would.
Okay.
So back up a little bit.
It does make an opportunity attack. That one's better. That's a 19 to hit.
That's a hit.
Yeah. So that's going to be not very much. That's just 7 psychic damage.
Okay. This time he kind of grimaces and then grabs his forehead. Ow! That hurt.
It did. All right. But you are able to move away from it. You are able to move away from it, and you find yourself suddenly waist deep in some unpleasant substances. It's not poop, but this is not a nice place to be standing in whatever
is it
washes
poop
down from
adjacent?
the street. It's not poop. It's not
Also-
not poop.
Septic mud.
Yeah, it is. It is whatever washed off of the street last night when it rained.
And off of the buildings and off of the statues.
Oh man, they're
Yeah.
never gonna let me in the library like this.
So that makes it your turn, Carolina.
I would quickly set a reassuring hand on, like, the store owner's forearm and say, "It'll be okay," and then dash off to the storm drain and hop in.
Okay.
I think if I would have any. How far away is Nedry from the color splot?
I mean, you would have been able to move 25 feet, Nedry. But when you moved like through the liquid, that might have been less. So I would say maybe 15, 20 feet at the most.
Sounds
Okay,
about right.
I need him 15 feet from this thing.
All right. Yeah. I think that's fine.
15.1 feet away.
Yeah, I would go right up to the creature, and I want to cast Thunder Wave.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
All right.
And it's a Constitution 14.
All right. Thunder, 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 thunder wave. Yeah, it got a 17.
Okay, well, it still takes half damage,
Mm-hmm.
which is 7 points.
All right.
It is not pushed away from me, though.
You definitely get a sense now that this thing, the vibrancy of its color is starting to flicker a little bit. You get the sense that it's losing some of its coherence. All right. Also, everyone down there in the sewer is splattered with all sorts of everything. Zinhorn is the only one who escapes because he's still up on the street.
It
All
is my
sorts of
turn.
awful.
Do I have enough movement to jump down?
Yes.
Then I'm gonna jump down and move forward as far as I can. Does anyone need healing?
Points
I
at
have 4
Nedry.
hit. I have 4 hit points.
All right, last spell.
I don't know if
of the day.
Nedry has more or less.
He's got a slight headache.
Okay. Sequential should be right in front of me, so I can do Cure Wounds.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, that is the last spell, and that will get you 8 points back.
Thank you.
All right. So it is the color's turn now. It zips down along the floor, and and it seems to be. You know what? I think it's just going to go after Carolina as the last sort of source of punishment for it. That's a 15 to hit.
Nope.
Nope. All right.
Yeah,
It sort of
with my shield, it's a 17.
zips in your direction, but it is unable to. You're able to sort of hop out of the way. All right, sequential. Your turn.
Crossbow range is 80 feet, so I'll shoot at it.
All right.
If I
I
can.
I think it's pretty close, so you might need to like.
Yeah, I can definitely
Back up.
move 30 feet of movement, so I'll
Yeah.
move closer.
Mm-hmm.
That is a crit!
Yeah.
Merry Christmas!
Yay!
That's the first one, I think.
No, I started with natural 20.
Oh,
nice.
nice.
So that's why we've been having so many hard rolls since then.
Right.
It's all downhill.
10,
Although these should be
11,
bookends.
12 points of piercing damage.
Okay. So, as your crossbow bolt strikes the patch of brickwork that has been discolored by this thing, you see it sort of shiver and then just fade in vibrancy until there is now a pale, flat turquoise splotch on the brickwork, and it seems to no longer be moving or responsive, and the color notably is not nearly so vibrant, but like those bricks where it was are still that color, you know, the faded color, but it has not disappeared.
Well, this might work. And I'm going to go over and try to scrape it into the scroll case that we picked up.
Okay, you find that like it does not scrape up, like it is embedded in the bricks.
I'll start chipping at the stone then.
All right.
Yeah, I was going to say,
dagger.
I've got several different types of tools. I have smith's tools. I've got hammers and pitons. So yeah, I will try to take off a section of the brick with the stuff on it.
Yeah. So I think you're no longer in initiative, and you are able to, with your smith's tools, able to essentially just carve out the portion of the bricks that is discolored and sort of just lift it out from where it was. Now, what are you gonna do with it?
Yeah, I'm like,
I'm gonna help you carry it.
Thanks.
hopefully we can study this.
Oh, I'm definitely going to study it.
Yep.
I mean,
What did you say,
I should
Caroline?
say,
I couldn't
hopefully
hear
it is studyable.
that. Everything is studyable. Some things just take longer.
Well, I'm gonna climb up out of the storm drain because gross. Although I don't know if I would have gotten splattered because the thunder wave went out from me. So
Oh,
I was.
I mean,
I'll
it
buy
covered-
that. I'll buy that. Yeah. It all goes
It covered
out.
Nedry head to toe
nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I feel
easily.
fully splattered.
So once I'm up top, I'll offer a hand up, like maybe to help Nedry come out. And then let's see. I wonder if that would work. No, I don't think I can. Can I use prestidigitation to? Oh, no bigger, no larger than 1 cubic foot.
It just means that you have to do a little bit at a time.
Right. And yeah,
Yeah,
I would
a
feel
foot,
bad.
a foot every 6 seconds.
Yeah, so I feel a little bad about it. I'm really sorry about the mess, and just kind of start like, he's not very big anyway. But try to, and then sequential too, because got him in the mess as well. But that'll take some time because he's much larger.
That was quite effective.
You're all climbing up out of the sewers now,
Yeah.
though? So
Yeah.
you don't see Hunjar. He seems to have gone back in his shop. But some people have poured water on the burning crate, so that's out now. And you get, as you emerge from the sewers, holding these like set of bricks with the paint splotch on it, you get some slightly confused applause. Like people are. It seems clear that some sort of victory has been happening here, but it's a little bit like like there was obviously something exciting, and you did some things, and then there was a boom from the sewers, and now you've brought some bricks that have a blue spot on them. Good job. But people seem impressed. And then I think probably Trina runs up and says, "Where were you guys? I was helping with the junk, and then I turned around and you were gone."
I
There was
got
a
distracted by a shiny object. I'm very sorry.
There was a kid in a bright color, and it was a mess. You really, it's okay. You didn't miss anything. It's
I'm
fine. We're fine. We're all fine.
Probably
Glad
smells
you're
pretty
helping.
bad.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry
glad
about
you're
the
here.
smell.
Because we need to now go retrieve that other body, and we need to get the town guard.
And I need to get my dagger back.
Yeah.
So
Burning box.
as a world building thing, the city doesn't really have like town guard in the classic sort of like police sense. Basically,
Okay.
what it is that there is like private security for anyone who can afford it. And then there is kind of like district militia that is kind of sort of police, but it is sort of like they investigate the crimes that the people in charge of the local district think are
Want
worthy.
investigated.
Right. Yeah, and so
All right.
there's not just going to be like a police station on the corner that you can just run to. That said, there were certainly like this you are still within the area that has been kind of taped off from all the junk before, and so there is the magistrate's office contact information is on that sign.
Okay.
Well, we
Um,
could see if anybody around here knows the victim and at least notify family. Or have
We're
them-
going to need to get a cart. I mean, if
Well-
we keep collecting bodies like this, it's going to be really hard to keep carrying them around all the time. And there's also the other evidence. I think I should go back into the shop because I think some of those things that passed through it might still have a little bit of evidence. And I want to see exactly how it interacted with that stuff, because if it melts it, that's a whole different thing than whether it's something else. Oh, they didn't feel like it melted it when it hit me in the head. Huh. And he kind of starts walking off towards the,
It seems
Maybe we
partially
should notify the
intangible.
temple.
Carolina, do you have any extra robes that I can borrow?
I'm
We have
afraid
another dead body.
yeah, I think I gave you the only cloak I had.
Hmm.
Could you just send word to the temple that there's someone that needs collected for last rites?
Yeah, and I got one of those myself, so maybe I should. I was thinking I would just wrap this guy up and take him, but I'm gonna go check the body and see if there's anything identifying, like any ID or something on it.
Maybe some of the locals might know him.
So what you discover on your first inspection is that he does seem to be carrying some things that who knows might have been identifying, except literally like he appeared from the outside. Everything on him has just been made completely colorless, completely black. Just like, papers in his pocket are now completely black, both sides. And so you feel like you're not going to get anything from any of that. However, you do, as you're kind of investigating, you're getting looky-loos from the other sort of junk scavengers and just people nearby. One of them says, "Oh, that's old Daryl."
Does old Daryl have any family?
Nah, kind of a bastard, that guy. And I don't mean in like the sense of like implying a negative connotation to someone whose parents were married. I mean like he's kind of a bastard.
Not a very nice person.
No.
He did try to steal from a child, so
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds like him.
Do you know if he had any religious preference?
Not that I'm aware of. Like, he seemed to kind of mostly just, steal what he could in order to pay for his next drink.
Well,
I
Is
mean, I
that
think he
relevant
did.
to our investigation?
think he-
Rashama protects all and will accept his soul. So I will give him last rites. And then,
I think- We should return him to the manor.
yeah, he needs to go to the manor for, along with the
requires
bricks.
investigation.
Here's a quick question. Does the Church of Rushama have a gesture, like a genuflection gesture, like Catholics might do the sign of the cross, but like, it
The
just,
sign of the mountain.
yeah, the sign of, sure,
The peak.
yeah.
Yes.
So I think when you mentioned that you'll do the last rites for Rushama, the guy who's there does kind of like a half-hearted, like almost by reflex, sort of thing.
Make the sign of the mountain.
So he, so you get the sense that even though, like, having helped you identify the guy, he feels his job is done and he is moving on before he is asked to take on additional
He was
responsibility.
about to get asked to help carry.
Yeah, he sensed that coming, and yeah, yeah. There was a little bit of divination magic in the alley that day.
If you want to take the brick, Nedry, I'll take the legs.
Nedry's not there.
Help Zenor here.
Where's Nedry?
Oh, that's right, he
went
bailed.
into
Nedry's in the shop.
Yeah.
He said, if you'd like to hold the brick, Carolina, I'll take the legs.
Oh, Carolina's off talking to more people. She's making.
I'll just take the
Okay.
legs.
So I think Trino would probably help carry.
Oh, that's right, she came back. Yeah.
And I can take the bricks. They're probably heavier.
So yeah, I think Trina can probably carry the guy just up over one shoulder without too much difficulty.
Then I'm good with the bricks.
Okay.
So Nedry, make an investigation check, looking for the areas that this thing sort of ate through.
21.
What you find is that although the edges where it had passed through are blackened, and it had started a fire in the interior of the one crate, you saw that happen. What you actually find when you look at the edges is that it really looks more like when something is eaten away by acid than when it's burned or melted by fire. It's more chemical than flame.
Okay. There's probably been enough time at this point that Nedry is coming out of the shop slowly, and you can hear this sort of as he's dragging a large sack of all the different materials he saw that were damaged by this creature. At least 3 examples of each. So there's a couple of plates, there's a couple of forks, there's a couple of the crossbows are there.
Yeah, so I think Hunjar is kind of looking at you doing that and saying, we could probably mend some of those.
Oh no, these are way beyond mending. They're evidence now.
How about a persuasion check?
Yeah, that's going to go well. Let's see. 12.
He kind of says, well, how about you pay for that evidence?
But this stuff's all broken. Well, how much do you pay for broken stuff?
Well, we can fix it. Get a mage right in here. He spends an hour. He can fix a lot of those.
Kind of reach in, pull out a random piece. You see this edge where it's all melted? I don't know if that's fixable. And besides, if another one of these comes back, I want to be able to figure out how to stop it. You wouldn't want that to happen again, would you?
No, but I also don't want you to walk out of here with a bunch of my merchandise.
It's not really merchandise anymore, but I'm sure we can pay for it.
I think he comes up and he basically just grabs the bag from you.
Hey, I need that.
Well, then
My
you need to
studies
pay for
require
it.
that. Fine, how much is it then?
He kind of hefts the bag. 20 gold.
It's sorry. It's the idea of porcelain by weight
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
as a measure.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
broken porcelain by weight.
yeah. How much did you say it was?
20 gold.
20 gold.
Yeah.
Okay, you know your business. And he reaches into his pouch and dumps out the gold that he has and hands it to him.
He takes his like, all right then.
Kind
I
of
mean,
folds up the pouch.
thanks for.
Carolina has been watching this just like horrified. Like,
Not coming up to help though.
didn't get there quite in time. But
But yeah, so he seems satisfied with the 20 gold, and he returns the sack to you, and he does just say, he's like, I mean, thanks for getting that thing out of my shop, but like, I mean, I can't just give this stuff away. I'm a businessman, business minotaur, business tour.
Of course you are. Thanks, Mr. Henjar. If you see another one of those things come through, maybe you can let me know. My name is Nedry. I'm sort of staying in a couple of different places, but I guess the most relevant would be the Relent Castle, I guess it is, up in the Skyport.
Well, you guys have like a group name or something? Like you came all in like you're adventurers.
Well, I don't think so. We haven't really had a chance to discuss it yet. I suppose I should add it to an agenda.
Well, I'm back in my voice now. Nedry, as a business tour, I'll tell you, branding is important. So think on that. That's a little tip for free.
Thanks, mister. I'll remember that. Actually, I'll make sure I remember that. And he stops, puts the bag down, opens up his book, and scribbles it into his book.
All right. So yeah, he allows you to drag this sack full of broken porcelain and stuff back out of the. Meanwhile, he's kind of trying to pick up what he can of like the other, sweeping up the other broken things.
there
Yep,
are
so-
suckers among them all.
Well,
And you'll see
since-
Nedry kind of the bag over, the bag's over his shoulder, still dragging on the ground as he's walking along. I got some evidence.
Why don't you take the evidence back to the castle, and I'll drop off the dead body at the church.
It's going to take me a while, but okay.
Do you need help carrying that?
We need the body at the manor.
No, you're taking the blackened body. I'm taking
The skeleton. Yeah. Gotcha.
Actually, I think Trina picks up the black
Yeah.
body.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So
She's got the body, yeah.
Trina's got the blackened body.
Because Sequential has the bricks.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'm telling you, we're going to need a cart. Maybe we should ask Mr. Yobar for one. Lord Relent. Yeah. He did ask what we needed, and I think we're going to need a cart.
I mean, he
That should
gave
be
you
an
all those
easy-
little messages, like the essentially line of credit seals.
True.
So yeah.
Maybe we could get one now, because this is really heavy.
We should ask Shoshana for some kind of collapsible, portable cart type of thing. Can she do something like that?
It's Sorashana, but I understand.
Sorashana,
I understand where Shoshana's coming from.
I mean, given time, we can construct anything.
I mean, there's probably carts just for sale.
Or for rent.
I wonder if I'll be able to summon the cart. I wonder if there's a spell that covers that.
So where are we
I've
going
heard of
right
floating discs, not carts.
Oh, we
Oh,
left Emerald back in the bar doing stuff. He was looking for paperwork that we needed information from. So
We were
I
going to
wanna go
help
back the
clear
bar.
space. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go back to the bar. We were doing
Do you
that.
want help with that, or should we get will the body be?
Where is it?
I
going? It's
think-
not
I
gonna
think
walk
try-
around.
Will the body be?
I think Trina says like
a hindrance.
I finished helping him get all of his stuff out while you guys were off apparently fighting paint.
Did he find the paperwork he was looking for?
He did. And also, I found these. And she holds up a couple of more like miscellaneous gizmos that look somewhat like the other things that were salvaged from, like, I don't know if any of these actually work, but they look
Ooh.
slightly more put together than the other ones.
Excellent. Good eye.
So I would want to go ask Emerald about those documents and see if there were any, like, specific group names or owners, anybody that was on the paperwork that he bought it from.
Sure.
I'll move on to the manor.
Are you okay? So Caroline is staying to ask about that. Sequential and Nedry are going
Split the
back to
party.
the manor.
I would imagine
and-
that there's a moment when Carolina says that that's what she's going to do, and Nedry's like, "Oh, and don't forget to ask him about this and about this and about." And I made a list. Do you want my list? Oh, actually, it's in the middle of my book. That'd be a little hard to give you. I don't really want to give out my book just now, but you know what I mean.
Like, why doesn't everybody have a book? Because if she had a book, then she could just write the things from your book into her book, and then she
I've made that
wouldn't-
argument
yeah.
before.
Well, if you had it in a song, that'd be super easy to remember, but
I don't understand songs. Like, there's
Okay,
some
so-
kind of magic, but I'm not really sure how it works.
Yeah, I'm with you.
well, I can definitely educate all of you, but maybe not right now.
We can always come back in case. I mean, not that you would forget a few of the questions, but if you did, then we could come back.
Right. So I think just the basic information for right now will be fine. It'll give us a place to start.
You see Nedry just like biting his lip when you say basic information. And he's just like practically vibrating at the moment, trying to ask more questions, but holding himself back for the moment.
Carolina pats him on the head and then wanders off back to the cunning oaf.
Sure. Okay. And Zinhorn, you're headed off to the temple to.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if we can inter the skeletal bones in case they need to be studied later. Do the last rites, and make sure that there's a name marker on it that we know who, since we know who this was.
Right. Okay.
And those two still need to wash up and get their clothes cleaned. They're all covered in filth.
Carolina.
that.
Yeah, Carolina had prestidigitation, so she took care of that.
Okay.
Or sequential did. Someone did.
Oh, that's right. No, she did. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I was going to say I'm still covered in filth, but no, she took care of both of us.
And then
Took a few minutes.
after I
but-
do that, I will head back to the castle to rendezvous with the rest of them.
Okay. Okay. So we'll follow you for that in just a moment. But first, let's do Carolina talking to Emerald. So you head over there. I think he catches your eye and he just says, "So, you brought a friend that can lift stuff real good. So that worked out. Where did the rest
Yeah,
of
I
you
have
get
a lot
off
of
to?"
friends. So did you find everything you needed?
Yeah. I mean, I was mostly just trying to get, like the important paperwork and, just some of my, like, personal stuff that I don't really want just, like, randos just sorting through,
Oh, well, yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So, so what, you wanted to know more about, like, who I bought the place from and that sort of thing?
Yeah, and any records that you have about, if you haven't, I don't think that you probably do, but and any paperwork that you have from maybe who owned it before or anything on the history of the building, really.
So, I mean, I'm not sure what I have is going to be necessarily all that useful for you, but the real estate agent that I bought it from is named Burdil Luneros. He was a half-elf. So he had been doing the same job, like I think he took it over from his dad before him, but but he was who I worked through, and like I said, he represents like a co-op of other like wholesalers and stuff like that. So he he does business with a whole lot of people around here. So like he's who I bought it from. But yeah, it did seem like when I bought it, he was a real motivated seller. I don't know why, but frankly, you know, the price that he was offering me, I wasn't too inclined to ask too many questions. I figured
Hard
there
to
was
get ya.
probably something, but you know, like until now, it seemed like I got away with the better end of the bargain. So, and honestly, you know, like it went 12 years without exploding into garbage. So, I mean, I can't really hold that against him.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he knew something, maybe he didn't. It's a lead.
But like I
Just kinda
said, I
hard to
mean,
pick
you know, sometimes when you're looking to buy a place, like you get a lot of the game of like, oh, you know, I've got other customers who are looking at it and that sort of thing, right? But no, like he seemed like he just wanted the deal done.
Hmm. 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 So how buried do you think or destroyed is my room? I had a few things, not a whole lot, but just like some extra clothes and stuff that I thought would come in handy, but I don't know that I'll be able to get to any of that.
So here's a question. I guess I had kind of imagined you were like maybe on like the next level up, like the 2nd floor. I think if that's the case, then like it it's more or less fine. Like the building is not that structurally sound, but the room itself is probably not really like damaged. So it's more just a matter of being careful getting up there, and it's not really safe to stay there, but the stuff in it is not really damaged. It's more like that the floor is unsteady now.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't a lot of stuff. Just some, basic clothes and things like that.
How
I
about
mean, I'm a
this?
performer, and that's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, so if just in a meta sense, if you want to go ahead and make a dexterity check for me, acrobatics if you're proficient, just to see if you can collect your things without falling through the floor.
Yeah. Okay. That is a 17.
Yeah, no problem. It's a little. There's a moment though where like you're stepping over the rug and you feel the floor sort of like caving in underneath you a little bit, but you're able to climb up out of the way. I'm just suddenly. Does anyone remember the old Tom Hanks movie, The Money Pit?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just the part where he gets stuck in the carpet and the floor. Anyway, but you do not get stuck like Tom Hanks in The Money Pit. You are quicker than that. So you are
It's
able
really
to.
just a duffel bag of clothing items and stuff
Yeah.
that I'm taking with me. So nothing fancy.
Sure.
But yeah. So then back downstairs, I'd be like, so I don't know that I told you specifically, but if you need to reach me, or if you come across anything, important information you think I may need to know, or you just, I don't know, you just want to chat because we're friends. I am at the Skyport currently, in the Castle Relenth. It moves, it like floats. It's really cool.
You made some fancy friends.
Yeah, kind of by accident, but yeah.
Like all those guys that you were here with before. They're all staying at that place.
Yeah.
Wow, it takes all kinds, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, it's kind of a dream job, really.
So, doing what? You said that's the second time you said it was a dream job, but I'm a little unclear on what it is that you're doing exactly.
Oh, well, I think a little bit we are too, but I get the impression we'll be doing some exploring. Primarily, like a lot of mapping places that maybe aren't currently mapped, I guess. He was talking about little pocket planes. Like my friend that was helping you move all of the stuff, she's from one of them.
Is that like how 30 tons of junk came out of a little hole in my floor?
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess that seems useful. It would have been good to know that was down there.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been really helpful. But I mean, we know now, right? And it's gone now.
Is it?
So, oh yes, it's very much destroyed.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's good.
Yeah, it's from what I gathered, it kind of not some I don't know. I can't say collapsed, but I can't say exploded either. Kind of both. So the space that was there is not there anymore, and all the stuff that was in there is now out here.
All right. Well, um, your friend with the thing. I don't remember what they're called.
China. China is her name.
Well, yeah, okay, you're China. She seemed to think that some of the things she found were pretty interesting. I don't know what they do, but I don't know. Like there's more. There's a lot of stuff in all this things around here, and people are just like picking through it. So I don't know if there's important things in it. Like people are finding them and leaving with it. So I don't know if that's a problem for you.
Well, it might be more of a problem for them if they get the wrong thing, or if they discover any, bright splotches of paint that try to kill you. That might be a little dangerous. Oh, you should be on the lookout for that, because that's what I'm assuming that you probably heard the boom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Bright
yeah.
splotches of paint. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, this one was bright blue, but I don't know if they come in any other colors. I'm starting to sound like Nedry with all the wondering. I think I've been hanging around him a little too long.
Well, you saw how I decorated the place the last time. Bright splashes of color are not really my style.
Yeah. Well, I think in this case that's probably for the best. So just yeah, I would probably not poke around in this stuff too much and let other people take that chance. You should stay safe.
You know what? I know how to take advice when it's given to me. That seems smart. Now that I got what I needed, thank you for your assistance, even though mostly you let Trina do it. Good luck with your new thing. I will definitely stay in touch. That seems...
They definitely do.
Yeah. All right. Well, eventually we'll get this place back in business, and maybe we can... maybe we'll put in a stage for real this time.
That would be nice. And if you do a grand reopening, please let me know. I'd love to come.
Definitely.
Okay. And then I will head out.
All right.
With my duffel bag.
Cool. So, Zinhorn.
Can we jump to someone else for one sec?
Okay,
I gotta
sure.
drop off for 1 sec.
All right. So, Sequential and Nedry, you're heading just straight back?
Yeah, and really, as far as I'm concerned, making a beeline to the lab.
Okay. So, I think that, this is a city where people get used to seeing a lot of stuff. But seeing a, completely jet black dead body over the shoulder, just carrying through the streets, is enough that you get some looks, right? People are kind of like
Loxodon.
Yeah. People are, you see a couple people cross the street to walk on, so that they don't have to walk right by you. There's a little bit of that, people are keeping their distance a little bit. You pass a couple of places that have guards outside, and they give you a look like you're not coming in here with that thing. Not that you were trying, but they make sure that their gaze tells you, well, good then. But you make your way back. Are you going up through the stairs again, or are you going to take one of the lifts up?
Definitely pay for a lift. 100%.
Can you? I don't really have any money.
Yeah.
was
How
left.
much was left?
Oh, it wasn't. It was 2 silver coming down.
Okay, I'll cover it.
I think
Absolutely.
it's. I think though it's 3 silver going up, just because.
Cool. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So along the
Got
way,
you covered. Never worry about it.
thanks. The evidence was really expensive. I wanted to ask you something.
Hmm.
And maybe I just don't know you that well because we kind of only met a little while ago and I haven't really had a chance to talk. But why don't you ever take your armor off?
Well, armor could be removed, but it's a very involved process. It takes at least an hour. So it's not something that's very practical.
But I don't understand then. Like, isn't it itchy?
I don't really experience itchy.
Well, that's pretty lucky. I had a robe that was not really worn in for a while, and I itched all the time. It made it really distracting. I started making up little games to make sure I would be distracted from being distracted, but it didn't really work. I've just never
couldn't
seen
you
you
just-
without your armor, so it just kind of made me wonder.
Yeah. Yeah. It's integrated.
Really? Did that hurt?
No, it's it's kind of like wearing clothes, really.
Well,
I don't really notice it once it's on.
I guess if you've been trained that way. I heard that sometimes soldiers do that, so I guess you're a soldier?
No. I mean, I'm an assistant.
You're a heavily armored assistant.
Well, in my travels, I received some arbitrary damage. You see, some people see me as an object of worth, and they would try to steal me, and they would want to disassemble me.
You mean like kidnap?
Yeah, I think that's what you'd call it. And I had to defend myself and learn that if I integrate some armor, I could last a little longer in the fray. And so I just leave it on.
You built it yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I found some, on somebody. Unfortunately, I had to dispatch, and so it seemed to
But
fit the purpose, and I integrated it into my carriage.
Carriage?
Well, I mean, skeleton. It's it's,
I don't understand how that works. I mean,
I don't really either. It seems like organics are, all organic, and I just have like some organic and some's kind of just different because look at this, and he'll pull out some like muscle tendon. These are like more plant fibery, viney, but
you just see Nedric's face just sort of go blanched and white, and his eyes go wide. It's all the way through.
But in practicality, it's really just like a muscle. If you think about it, it's just, it's just held by, people are magic, and this is kind of magic, and I think, it's just a different kind of magic.
Reaches up to kind of press on this.
Mm-hmm.
What are you? That's not armor. That's all you.
Well, yeah.
You're like armor all the way through.
Oh, well, I guess I just don't have the skin and I'm missing a lot of the fluids. They weren't very efficient.
Were you always like this? Or did something happen to you?
No, as far as I know, I've always been like this. All of my experiences, I've been like this. But I am Mark III. But I think I'm a wholly developed individual. I don't believe I was crafted from previous parts.
Crafted?
Oh, I was assembled. I was built.
You were built?
Mhm.
Wow. I didn't think that. I mean, I've seen all the little things that get built, but I didn't. You were built?
Hmm. Actually,
Oh,
by a gnome such as yourself.
well, not like me. I've never been any good at it. My father, he's really good. He built me all kinds of things when I was young. I
Hmm.
tended to take them apart though, because I could never figure out how they worked inside, and I never found the little magic bits. They just seemed to be all wood and metal all the way through.
That's the trick, isn't it? Finding the spaces in between.
Wow. So does that mean that you're a spirit?
Hmm. I suppose, like any other sentient being, I'm not aware. I haven't worked a lot in that realm. I'm not aware of the current, theories, but I mean, I'm sentient and you're sentient, and if you have a spirit, I guess I have a spirit.
Well, I mean, but
Or I
kind
guess
of
a
like,
soul. Hmm.
well, no, I was thinking of Sunya or of the one that works at the Skyport.
Oh yeah. Maybe I am.
Because Sunya's bound with
Hmm.
the castle. So I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking, wow, you're
She's
really
mobile.
weird.
I'm just smaller.
I didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't. I thought you were just wearing armor all the time, and I thought it was kind of weird, and I thought maybe there was something different
Hmm.
about that. But now I kind of think that you are all armor all the time, and that's even weirder. I like you. You had a lot of questions all wrapped up in a whole lot of things. My dad would
I
love to meet you.
I can't wait to find the answers with you.
Well, if there's one thing that I've learned, uh, there's a lot more questions than answers.
It'd be kind of boring if there weren't.
I know, right?
All right. So I think you guys are on your way, probably just about arrived back at the manor, but perhaps now we can follow Zinhorn over to the Temple of Rishama.
Yes.
So you make your way there. I think it's, you know, it's not too far, right? It's walkable. You don't need to get on any sort of transportation. You just walking there, but I think it is in the the older part of the city. So you're going to pass through one of the old city wall gates where like the city obviously has expanded beyond the original gates now, but the temple is in the old part of the city. So pass through there and uh, it's I think into the afternoon now, the early afternoon, but what are you thinking about as you're kind of seeing you know, the the top of the temple there, kind of in the distance?
Um, just thinking about what people at the temple and in the orphanage would be doing around this time, who's going to be where.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to anticipate where Father Wilfram will be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and how to put myself in front of him without, causing too much upset in his daily routine.
Well, I would guess, and like, tell me if you disagree or anything, but I would guess that like there are protocols for this sort of thing, right? Like this is something that the temple does,
Yeah.
right? There. So I think that bringing someone in is, it's not like people are gonna gasp in shock and horror that, oh my god, you've got a skeleton, or but like I don't even think it would be obvious if it's still all packed up, right? So
No, it won't be obvious because it's still packed up.
right. So I mean, I think that until that is different, that changes. Mostly people would just see you and wave and
Right.
Zinhorn. Yeah. And is there anyone else that you would like look for before going there, or you're just trying to head straight for Father Wolfram?
No, this has been going on too long. This
Mm.
is, this the body needs to be put to rest and yet maintained
Mm-hmm.
in a way that it can be transferred to the family if they show up, or over back to the castle if they want to study it some more.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, treated with respect and given
Mm-hmm.
last rites.
Sure. So I think that there's probably like a meditation chamber that is, it's not like just for one person or just for the head priest, but it's a small sort of chapel. But the usual intention, though, is that like people are in there are, they're meditating, they're praying. That's not where you have conversations. But I think, you peek in there and you see him, and he kind of sees you and nods, and then stands up, you know, arches, like holds his back just a little bit, and then makes his way out to where he can meet you in the hallway and says, Zinhorn, welcome back. How has your new adventure been going?
Uh, well, very, very interesting. Um, we were inadvertently pulled into a pocket dimension um, where someone had been trapped apparently many years ago, but we still don't have all the details. But I brought his remains back to be uh, given last rites, and
He,
uh,
he kind of, as you're talking, he's listening, but he kind of puts his hand on your arm and just says, "Are you doing all right?"
yes, actually, I am a little tired right now, but I'll get to that. Anyway, I have the body on me,
Ah,
um, and I'd like to take care of that. But to finish the rest of the story, we managed to get back, but bring all of the junk that was in that pocket dimension back out into the bar where the entrance to the pocket dimension was hidden. And the bar almost got destroyed. Actually, I think it pretty
oh
much
my
did get
goodness.
destroyed, but it's going to be rebuilt. And everyone's okay. Nobody got hurt, at least not until today. Afterward is when I contacted you. I was made the offer to join them to do more research on these pocket dimensions. But like a living splotch of color, like a mote of light that was very vibrant blue, came out and it ate a hole in a building and set some things on fire. And but before that, it actually killed a man. And uh, anyway, we managed to kill that. Um, but it's been very exciting. Somewhat dangerous, but um, we have we have more research to do.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, right now it's I just want to make sure that this body gets taken care of, and um, as I said, we have his name, and we're going to try and find the family. So um,
That was going
I,
to be my next question, but uh,
yes,
you always anticipate what's needed, and I think that's one of the things I admire most about you.
uh, uh,
It's in your
I do
nature
my
to
best.
look out for others, and I think that is an excellent quality. And What I will offer as counsel too, though, is to make sure that you're looking out for yourself as well. I know this is something that is easy to dismiss, that you know this, but I understand how, given your background, looking into pocket dimensions like this could very well bring up feelings that you haven't had to think about in a while. And I just want you to know that's okay. I hope that your new colleagues are people that you can talk about these things with, but if not, you can always come back to me. Or, of course, pray to Rashoma.
Thank you. I will definitely remember that. Sometimes things move so fast that I forget these things.
We will, of course, perform all the necessary rituals here with what name we do have, and we can have him interred in one of the mausoleums. I imagine that if you are still exploring and trying to locate his family, shall we perform a speak with the dead spell?
I think I would like to have the other members of my team present for that.
Mm-hmm.
They may have more questions. Actually, I know one of them will have so many questions.
Well, I trust you'll let him know then how the spell works. We get 5 questions, and wasting them is not helpful.
I think we'll prepare the list of questions before we come back.
Generally speaking, that's the right approach. It is often a tricky business, but thankfully the magic does frequently allow us to get in touch with people who might not know that a loved one has passed, or to help them complete what their final business might have been. So whenever you're ready for that ritual, we will perform it here.
Excellent. I will confer with my friends and send word as to when we plan to return. And the robes that the body is wrapped up in belong to one of my friends. If you could see to having them cleaned after the
Of course.
body is interred.
We have shrouds here. You know this.
Thank you.
So, are you heading right back to your new abode, or would you want to say hi to the children while you're here?
Gotta stop and say hi to the kids. Thank
Well-
you, Father.
Of course,
Rashama be with you.
and with you. All right. So, I think that while we can absolutely, so I guess here's a question. I think if you want to do a scene with the kids, maybe we wait and do that next time. But if you're fine, just like hand waving, that you go and say hi to the kids that you know, and
Yeah, I think hand waving is enough
Okay.
for right now.
yeah. So you go and greet the kids that you know. You say hi to the usual suspects, and everyone's glad to see you. I imagine. Is there anyone here at the orphanage or the temple that you don't get along with?
I try very hard to get along with everyone. There are some people I that aren't my favorite people in the world,
Sure,
but I
sure.
still
Civil
You know,
civil at
I
worst, right? You know?
yes,
Yeah.
I am here to help them become functional citizens in the world and make something better of themselves. And not I don't believe that everyone has to be what I want them to be.
Sure. All right. So I think you have you greet them, and then you are on your way back. And I think that as the group is perhaps getting ready to reassemble at the manor, we will finish our session for tonight and reconvene next time. But so as Mark has just posted in the chat, I think we can take a few minutes that if anyone watching live has questions to ask the characters, whether the player characters or any NPCs, and we can answer those in character for a few minutes before we sign off. So if you've got any burning questions, feel free to type those out. Oh,
Sorry.
no worries.
I had this thing muted in 9 different directions, but apparently not the one that I needed.
Well, so we've got some already. So Prince Justin asks, everyone except Nedry, how are you feeling about Nedry and his questioning nature?
Sequential is 100% down for this. He is willing to assist him in finding the answer to every single question.
Carolina doesn't, like, she's not bothered by it. She mostly, it's a lot, so it just kind of like, she doesn't ignore it. It's just like, kind of brushes it off and just like goes with whatever. And she sees him as very childlike in that way, so she gets along with him fine. It's just, you got to know how to deal with it and answer what you can and what you can't.
Dinhorn has dealt with many different children, and Nedry seems to just be another child who's very bright and lacks a certain filter. The questions just run, and Zinhorn lets them flow over him and dips his toes into the stream to pick out the ones he thinks are important to answer. But mostly he understands that this is who Nedry is, and he needs to let Nedry be Nedry.
Very nice. And so the paired question is, Nedry, how do you feel about your colleagues being less inquisitive than you?
I'll answer in third person, but it's one of those things where he's aware that people don't have this many questions. He doesn't know exactly why people don't question more things, but he knows that he's the only one that seems to question everything, and he's accepted that. Occasionally, he'll find someone who almost keeps up with him.
I think if Sorashana were to answer the question, she would say he asks too many of them out loud. Smartamaster asks, for everyone, what future abilities are you looking forward to? Like in character, if whatever your idols are in your own kind of chosen arena, like what are you looking forward to being able to do once you're good enough?
Honestly, for sequential, I'm really split. The artificer class is kind of new, and there's like 3-4 different paths to take. And I had a preconceived notion heading out that sequential would be like he was built, they were built, I keep doing that, to sequentially work through a table of elements and compare every single magical property and see, what can become of each single piece. And so alchemy was the natural fit. And at one point, alchemy was the only option. And now there's like, you could be Iron Man, basically. So, honest for me, I don't have to make the decision until level 3. And I want to see how combat goes. And that's going to kind of determine if they bolt on pieces, or if they dig into alchemy, which direction to go. And I can't wait because they're all exciting.
Level 3 will be here before you know it. Anyone
I
else
think
have?
Carolina is most looking forward to being able to convince even more people to be her friend.
Hmm.
That is a skill she is looking forward to. And she is working very hard to develop those talents. She just loves people.
It's really hard because it's the constant questioning nature that Edry has that is and I know this as a player. Nedry doesn't know this, but I know that it's bound to be unsatisfied. He will never get all the answers. He kind of hinted at that when he was talking to Sequential, that there's always seems to be more questions than answers. And I'm very curious to see what happens as he starts to realize that, because right now he's in that phase of everything is interesting, and he's slowly going to be winnowing down to, I need to know this. I need to know these specific things. He currently has 15 research projects that aren't getting very well attended to, and daily lessons and things like that. But for me, there's also this interesting contrast of playing someone who isn't exactly in line with the kind of magic school he's being taught. His master is a master abjurer, and that's a very different magic school from a lot of the others. It's not divination, which might naturally lead to questions and answers. It's not, some of the others. So I'm kind of interested to see how that plays out and how he sees that. He's very dedicated to his studies, but also that sort of interesting push-pull. So, and then just, I kind of like the idea of him inventing new spells. We were chatting, and they had one in the chat, which is I think it's going to be one of the targets. It's not an abjuration spell really, but it's Nedric's Fantastic Cabinet. It's his version of like the floating disc, but it looks like a large cabinet with wheels.
Nice.
And just having a lot of fun kind of with him following that stuff and seeing what he can do with it.
Very cool. How about Zinhorn?
Zinhorn is kind of split. He's wants to get better at healing and protecting people and feeding people, but he's kind of secretly looking forward to being able to do extra planar travel by himself, or at least have the spell where he can shift between planes and he doesn't know if he's going to do it, but once he has that ability, he's kind of thinking that he will set down the burden that he's carrying now and maybe see if he can find out what happened to his parents, or even find the town that he came from. And he knows he's, almost 100 years removed from, that place and that time. But at least he'd like to know, this is where I came from. And those are my people over there. And even if there's, nothing that comes of it, it would check a box for him. He would be able to put that to rest, and then maybe could help find and take care of more people.
Nice. And so, last but not least, let's do this kind of lightning round. What do you hope to secretly find in one of these demiplanes?
Spoilers!
I mean, it's pretty easy for me to answer for Nedry. It's an answer to one of the biggest questions that he has, and he has a lot of big questions.
A practical joke that Ket left behind.
Ha!
I mean, Sequential's eternal quest is to find Greg Holmes Builder, who disappeared. So, but whether that's wrapped in a pocket dimension or not, who knows?
Very nice.
Carolina has something, but Spoilers.
Spoilers. All right. So, yeah, Smarter Master suggests Ket himself. Well, perhaps we'll just run into Ket on the street next time, but we'll have to wait a week until then. So, thank you everyone for listening and or watching. Thank you, of course, to my players. And we'll be back next week for more adventure on so many levels.
So many levels.